But next subject, kind of on a, what'd you say, like a slightly sadder note, but want to pay because we pay respects from one end to the other.
Yeah,
D-
and it is. This is kind of like, and we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna tone it. We're gonna bring it down a little serious real quick. Stuff like this, you don't want to like. You don't like hearing news like this when you have players, especially young players, that end up
Mhm.
passing and all of
Yeah,
and unnecessarily.
especially.
Because you got because just this in the last couple of weeks, we've had three players pass. We've had Todric McGee out of Miss. I think it was it Mississippi State,
Missouri,
Missouri State,
yeah, Missouri State.
uh, passed from an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound, which is unfortunate. From what they said, it was like I say it was.
As
I don't
they
know
said,
what the
so
situation, but they said it
far,
was.
so far in the reports, they said it was just an accidental gunshot wound,
Mm,
and they're like it was probable and accidental, self-inflicted. He was rushed
right,
to the hospital, but he was later on pronounced unalive. And
and
then
he was a starting safety entering his fifth year, who actually earned all conference honors in 23. And like I said, you hate to see stuff like that happen. As most people have saw in the news, Kyren Lacy's passing due
situation
to his self inflicted, and
unaliving.
that whole situation was bad. It was just a
Yeah.
whole sad situation. It's one of those things where you feel like you're not entirely sure what was going on in their head, but you're not. But you can also definitely figure that there was a lot of pressure, both internally and externally,
And
to his situation, because you probably had people close to him that were trying to support, but he wasn't trying to talk about it. You probably had people on the outside that did also try to support, but it was overshadowed by the negative.
yeah, that
And
was going on with him, and it was a
and
lot
then
going on between both sides, as you said. A lot of
and then
pressure for that young man.
with the potential ending to the particular situation he was in, that didn't help anything. And like I said, I hate that it came to what it came to.
Mhm.
Um, it it's just that you can't talk much about it. And then last but certainly not least, Jeremiah Kelly, who is one of those that you really don't want to talk
He was
about.
with the He was with the Bearcats too.
He was with incoming freshmen, didn't even just finish spring practice, didn't even get a chance to even see the field really. Incoming freshman for Cincinnati Bearcats. His situation was he was just it was completely unexpected in his own home. They had the school hasn't released the cause yet. If they may never, and that's okay. Like
That's not our
that's
place to know.
same thing with the family. It's not our place to ask them and force them to do anything like that. But the bottom line is prayers up to to the families of these guys, to the neighborhoods that are affected by this, to the teams that are affected by this.
Absolutely.
Stuff like this going on is never great news. It's never something that you want to have to talk about, because these are young men, very young men. Because I said Jeremiah was 17,
And I'm looking at it,
fresh
bro,
out of college, fresh out of
because
high school.
sorry, Jeremiah 17, and then you had Todric. He was 22. I want to say 22 going on it. And then Kieran Lacy, I think, was also around that same age, 21, 22.
Just into
And
Karen Lacy was headed into the draft. Was definitely expected to be a high draft pick. Had a whole lot going on for him future wise. Then Todrick going into his last year eligibility.
he may have potentially made it to the draft. We don't know. But when it comes to stuff like this, what's sad, especially as former athletes as you and I both are, when we see guys younger than us, guys and gals who are athletes who have this potential, have this like great potential to do something with the talent they've been given. You want to see them succeed. I don't know an athlete Granted, yes, we have friendly competition. Yes, we want to drive and beat the other. But when we recognize talent, when we recognize somebody who works as hard as we do ourselves, you still want them to succeed. You still want
Mm-hmm.
them to get there and achieve their dream, the same dream that you have, because especially if you know you're putting in the same work as them, you can sit there and say, you know what? I had the talent to make it. I may just not have had the opportunity, but I had the
Mm-hmm.
talent. I had the potential. And when young men and women lose their lives like this, it's sad. It's always a constant reminder of how short life is, because I always have a harder time now. You're 33, I'm 31, 30, 31, whatever. And it's harder seeing people younger than us passing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always harder seeing people younger than us passing because we don't anticipate that. We don't expect that. It, it's sad because you're like, dang, a 17-year-old, we like just why is his life cut short?
Yeah.
21, 22-year-old, everything going on. Why is their life? Why is that the time for them to end? And why is that? Especially because 17-year-old kid, he's happy, he's made it, he's a D1 college athlete. Because he probably had some people in high school tell him you ain't going D1. Kyren
And
Lacy had some people tell him he wasn't going to be a NFL draft pick. Todric McGee had some people tell him that he wasn't going to be all conference at any football school, that he was probably going to end up in jail somewhere.
and you
And,
got these guys because like someone like when this happened, you got younger guys like this. It's like it puts it into perspective that ain't nothing promised. It's like it puts some stuff. It makes it hard on you, but it's also one of those things of okay. It makes you wonder. Okay, what could have been done differently? What could have been sought out differently? And what could we do as a community to make things easier for them to help or make it to where we can prevent some of this stuff happening as often as it does? And it's like I said, it's a mystery that I don't think we'll ever really solve fully.
no,
And like I said, it sucks to see. Just like you said, like us being like previous athletes at one point at points in our lives. Anytime you got young guys that have so much potential, like these guys, like some of these guys do, and you see either their careers cut short, lives cut short, freedoms getting lost, things of that nature, it sucks to see because you like, man, I hate that. Like you look at it, it's like I hate that happened to him. I really do because it's like you had so like you were on the up, and next thing you know, it's done with.
but yeah,
And
but